All right, so moving on now, let's talk about Enola Holmes.
Yeah,
So, Ricardo, if you don't mind again,
sure.
just to do synopsis for this.
Right. So,
Just like with The Devil All the Time, I
yeah,
did not watch the trailer for this, but I
right.
was familiar with the marketing to do was about Etta McGill, Millie Bobby Brown. You know her as
Right.
11 from Stranger Things, a show that I have grown to really love. But what was interesting though is that, okay, it's yet another Sherlock Holmes film, and not to say that we've had Sherlock Holmes films, periodically, but the last one I saw, well, okay, so outside of the BBC series with Benedict Cumberbatch, a great show,
Right.
there was the Robert Downey Jr. one, right? The one with
Right.
him
Yeah.
and Jude Law playing
Yeah.
Holmes
Yeah.
and Watson.
I thoroughly love his two films.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially
yeah,
the
yeah.
first
The
one.
second one in particular, I didn't think I would enjoy that much too, but I
Okay.
did because
Yeah. Well,
with
the thing
the
is,
with the Moriarty character, I was just like,
right.
yeah,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
true.
But the thing is, that's the thing. It escalated in the second one. Even though I thought the second film was weaker. When it escalated, it was good. Like especially that fight to the two of them. Well, the final Itachi Sasuke mind fight. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting that okay, well, in this decade here, we're getting another take on the Sherlock Holmes, character, right? Okay, yeah, this in a way is another take on the character, but it's not about him, and the amount of him that's not in the show really caught me by surprise. Kind of like it, slight
Right.
spoiler.
Right.
But it more focuses, of course, on his sister,
Right.
Enola Holmes, played by Bobby Brown,
Right.
right?
So yeah, what it
Yeah.
what it is, yeah. So what it is a bunch of books that was. It's none of this is Arthur Conan Doyle's material, right?
No,
As
no,
far as I
it's from
right,
Nancy Springer. Yeah.
right. So the Nancy Springer stuff. I thought it now this I'm gonna make a kind of joke right now. Well, Nancy Springer is the new queen now. We had to take Roland and throw she in the trash bag and carry she out back, right? Um, we go right now, the only JK acknowledges is Simmons, right? Like seriously.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
um,
I mean, Harry Potter
I
aside, though, I mean that what
yeah
that book should probably like
no,
why
but
do?
she No, it's time for she to go now. But this is the show that had to go on. I was really surprised at this, like what they do with it. It's basically like this is great kind of fan fictiony thing, but it's like Sherlock's sister, but they give her like a plausible explanation as to why she exists because she's much younger, and they explore a bunch of stuff that we never really explore, and it does its own thing really really well, and you get that real Beals of Grey Gardens kind of vibe going on in the beginning with the house
Yeah, yeah, you're right,
at the
you're right.
mother. Right. And
Yeah, but
yeah, so that's
but what
yeah, go ahead.
what is it about?
Right. So it's based on the first of her books. This is the case of the missing Marquez. And what it is, it's her mother goes missing when it's her 60 morning of her 16th birthday. And she looks for the mother. The mother deliberately like leave little clues because the mother is like really into cipher and cryptography stuff. So it's all of that code stuff that she got accustomed to with the mom. And it's time to solve that mystery. But what happens is that she calls for her two brothers. This is Mycroft and Sherlock. Mycroft and Sherlock this is long past all of Sherlock's famous cases, right? All of that stuff
Oh,
happened
okay,
years ago.
okay. I
Right,
didn't pick up on that. So it was
right.
kind of midway, into
No,
his
but
career,
what
kind of.
yeah, what fully to think it as because they cast Henry Cavill and he kind of still looking like a young Sherlock now. But no,
Yeah.
they mention how she's collect all these cases in the papers and whatnot, blah 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 blah.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Right. But so much time passed that Sherlock and Mycroft didn't even recognize her. And so they come back to the house. Sherlock's job is to like solve the case of what happened to the mother. And now, but she didn't get the sense that, and then Mycroft, she's officially Mycroft's ward. So Mycroft just wanted us to send her off to finish in school and well effectively marry her off so she could like continue the legacy of the thing. But she don't want to do that. She want to solve the mother situation and she go off and do that. And she ran away. And that's where the story starts. But what happens is that she bunks up with this boy um is a market effectively a Marquez. I forget what's his name by Tuxbury or something like that.
His name is Tewksbury.
Tuxbury, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the story starts because she knows how to piece together. Wait, this Tuxbury boy kind of important, and she decides to focus on him instead. But the like typical Sherlock Holmes shit, they tie the stories tied together. And here's the thing: somebody was I forget who it was, but somebody was complaining that there is no deductive logic in this. And I was like, yeah, Sherlock Holmes have no deductive logic ever. Like they keep saying
Thank you.
Sherlock. Yeah, they keep saying Sherlock Holmes engages in deductive reasoning, but it's actually inductive reasoning, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between inductive and deductive reasoning? Well, one starts with theory, one starts with observation, right? That's basically what it is, right? You form a theory after deductive reasoning is that you start with your theory and then build from there. That's the only distinction. Yeah, you could go look up in some philosophy or science book as to why, right? I really like this. I didn't
Me too. Me too.
didn't
Yeah.
I didn't expect to enjoy this as much. This is how to talk to the audience, by the way, because they do a lot of I don't know if you ever watch Fleabag. It's that.
Oh,
They do a lot
that fourth wall breaking.
right,
Yeah.
right. It does that Fleabag stuff. And it's that. But they make it work. And then several things. Two main things. Millie Bobby Brown had excellent chemistry with everybody. Right? And they had a lot of like characters from little side characters in Harry Potter. Like the girl was Harry's aunt in it. She was the woman running the finishing school. They had my
Oh,
boy from
I was watching her face. It's
yeah
like I
yeah yeah
know her
yeah
from somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of there are a bunch of Harry Potter people who play Shimada that is from Harry Potter. So you get the
Yeah,
feeling like all these
well,
Harry
Helena
Potter
Bonham Carter. Yeah,
right
I know she
right
is, right?
yeah again and again you get the feeling that all these Harry Potter people try to like distance themselves from JK, but
Okay,
they like
okay, okay. I
they
like
want
that.
to
Yeah.
be yeah, but they want to be in like something like a real big English thing. So what it does, it effectively does the British Nancy Drew really well, and I really thought it worked. She is a star. Like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
this girl is a star. She really holds it. Great chemistry with everybody, and well, she had a Netflix buddy, Henry Cavill. They were great together. Henry Cavill, he does it. He does kind of work like a Sherlock, but because he's so goddamn big and he barely fitted into that damn
True.
coat, it was like
Mm.
this was Sherlock, like whatever. I didn't mind. And then it had that what they clearly like take from the guy Ritchie stuff, right? It have that some of the fasting, it have a little bit of action.
Yeah, some of
They
these
explain
stylized texts and
right, right,
transitions
right.
and stuff. Yeah.
Right. And so they take from the best and then bounce it around and then push together. And it's something that would have like you could have feel this would have done. You would have seen this on PBS back in the 90s or some bullshit like that. But no, they just do their own thing. They put it with style. It have a lot of good energy. And I just really enjoyed it. And it was just a lot of fun. And I just kind of want them to, they should replace Harry Potter in my opinion. I want them to make all 6 books now. They should do all. Like she is effectively 16. She's the same age as the thing, so hopefully she don't take too long to age out. At the
Yeah.
role. But I have no idea how she ages in the books. I haven't read any of the books. So I'm gonna give it a chance. And yeah, I just really like this. It just so competently made. It's just a solid product, and Millie Brown holds it. That's the most important part. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I agree with you entirely, Dread. I
Yeah,
did not expect to enjoy the show so much. Like
yeah,
I was just watching this like, all right, well, at least this is gonna charm me. This is gonna, keep me occupied for the tour
yeah,
run. But yeah, I was engaged from the word go. Just from the moment Millie just shows up on screen and she talks to the audience. Yeah, though the whole fourth wall breaking. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, I just like her. I just like her energy, her spirit. And how she just kind of shows up is like, well, just kind of explaining who she is. You know what I mean? She explains her name, and then how she explains like,
yeah,
oh yeah, that's
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
even
yeah.
think about that.
Yeah,
Wow,
all
right?
these little fun things. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The relationship with her and her mom. You know what I mean? You
yeah.
understand why she is the way she is,
And that
and how.
that
But
the implications with that I thought was like really shocking and surprisingly dark. It's like, oh, they go in here with it. Would that like
yeah,
Daryl Dread do? All right.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Guys like yeah, because I like how that it doesn't talk down to the audience. This is like the most important point about these things. You have to make it where you don't talk down to the audience, right? it's not designed for me. It's not my demographic. This stuff is designed for, well, that audience, like basically younger teen, tween girls, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah, well, younger teen and tweens in general, right? And they make it work as she being a central figure. But then what they do with it, with her character, much like similar to another show, kind of remind me of this. Shazam. I keep making the point. Shazam has the darkest moment in all of the DCEU, and it was the most whimsical in many ways, right? But it does have the darkest moment. And they do when they reveal about the mother in this, I was like, oh shit, that real do.
It's a good thing in Bram that because when that moment happened, I was thinking of Shazam as well. I was thinking about
Right.
that moment where he
Yeah.
confronts, that
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I was so surprised that you do something that dark now. Again,
Yeah.
it have real dark and then fake dark now. And they do a good job with that. And then well, it had a bunch of like little side characters, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But in terms of like the subplot that they touch on, basically, the way just the social norms surrounding women at that time, right?
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? They should be at home, you know what I mean, taking care of families and stuff. They shouldn't be allowed to vote and all that kind
Yeah,
of bullshit, right? That's what they touch on. But I love the fact that they don't just beat you over the head with it and show you how bad it is. It
yeah,
relates to her. Cause basically, Enola is from the countryside, right? That's
yeah,
that's essentially where she's from, and then she goes to London. You know what I mean? Searching for her mom, right? And in the process, she meets the Tewksbury guy, right?
yeah,
Um, but yeah, in this new world in the city now, that's where she understands, just the idea of how this patriarchal system tries
yeah.
to tie down,
But they do
women
it,
themselves
yeah,
now, but they
and
don't
yeah.
do it
So
in this overly
right,
okay. We have to linger on this for so
right.
much
Yeah,
time for you to
yeah,
understand how bad it is. It's
yeah.
there, but we know how bad it is, and
No, they
we
do.
see
All
how
right. So
we see how Enola feels about it. Like she's very
right,
verbal about it, but it's not like okay, the movie just stops and
right.
it's all about her trying to break this system down. It's not
Yeah,
about
no,
that.
right. Yeah. Why this was particularly smart writing, because it again it doesn't it's making the case for quote unquote feminism, or at least that suffragists, at least for suffragette movement at the time. But they
Yes.
get into the more plausible mechanisms to address that, and the more plausible ways of it attempting to be addressed in the first place. Because like to me, one of the best scenes is the character the back and forth between Sherlock and Edith. This is the black girl nurse, Susie
Oh yes,
Wokoma,
yes,
I
yes.
think is the name.
Love
But
that.
that was great. It's a nice little scene talking about who just the kind of what privilege matters in this world, and how privilege manifests, right? Sherlock
Yeah,
is a pretty privileged character. He's a person who didn't have to think about the bullshit now.
yeah.
As compared to her, as compared to Enola and his own, even his mother now.
Yeah.
Then they do little side
Oh,
characters.
well,
I
just
felt
one last thing.
yeah,
In terms of that scene in particular, I love that they didn't have Edith. Well, that's her real name. Well, that's her real name, of course, right? I
yeah,
love that they didn't just have her be the side character, like, oh, you know what I mean? I knew
right,
your mom, blah blah blah. They
right,
have that particular moment with her to kind of put Sherlock in his place now. So I just
yeah,
love that back and forth.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And they had that, and it felt plausible. Like that's the kind of conversation that would kind of happen. No? Like they didn't feel like, oh, this is in your face, and again, look, we could get into that debate about the nature of how to address progress in general, no? And what it have good didactic and bad didactic, right? The good soapbox and the shaky soapbox, right?
Yeah,
And this is
yeah.
a good soapbox, right? This is how to do this, right? It is very clear that it's not particularly subtle, but it doesn't try to be, but it's still intelligent and doesn't talk down to its audience. That's the most important part,
Yeah,
especially kids.
and it helps in terms of world building, just really you understanding the
Right,
times
right,
of the show and well how it relates to our heroine, right? So yeah.
right. And so my only little small issue, I felt they kind of explored Burn Gornum's character. This is he's from the Expanse and he's from Pacific Rim. He was the
Yeah,
bad
I'm
guy.
familiar with who he is. He
Right.
he
I felt
reminds me a lot of okay, so going way way back, right? Another feminist film, if you think about it, Charlie's Angels. Remember there
right.
was that one
Yes.
guy,
Yes. Guys,
the hitman
from Back to the
guy,
Future. Yeah, yeah,
right?
from Back to the
Who
Future.
play
Yeah.
Willard, you know what I mean, in that God
Right.
Awful remake, right? So yeah, he's that sort of sneaky kind of hitman
Yeah.
guy, you know what I mean?
George. I forget the actor's name, but George McFly.
Yes, yes. Well, that
Right,
guy. So he's
right,
essentially that character. He's that tough
right.
hitman guy. He's sent out
Yeah,
to find the boy, and he gets in the way of Enola's
right.
mission, and
And
he's that type of character, though.
what was smart too is, well, who the villain was. I thought that was good too. Like it made a lot of sense. Um, and what I thought they did very cleverly too is that they had the case be solved from two perspectives. Um, and it's only because of the actions of one that Enola solves the situation before this other character solves it. But
Yes,
he also solved it, and I like that how he solves it. He solves it with another piece of information that's also relevant to the story.
yes, yes, yes.
And they brought that in as like, okay, you do this, do that, you do this, and he thinks differently, but she have to think differently. She's not good at everything, but she knows how to adapt and make it work. And again, because she's a little kid, she's still a child, right? But
Yeah,
they make it work in that sense and build it up, and you really had you rooting for her the entire time, and it totally works. I'll
of
say,
course. One
yeah, go
thing
ahead.
before I forget, though, in
Yeah,
terms of building Gorman's character, right? The
right,
final line that he delivers, though, I
right.
don't want to spoil it at all.
Yeah, I love that.
Like it's only after a while I thought about this, like, wait now,
Yeah,
but I now get what he's saying there,
yeah, 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 yeah,
because
yeah.
it relates to this patriarchal system once again,
Right. Yeah,
that and this is what I love to, in terms of where we have this lady who runs this boarding house, basically,
yeah,
this
yeah,
finishing school or whatever for young
yeah.
girls. Her thinking, well, this is us, like, in her head she's thinking that this is the bit of freedom that women have, you know what I mean,
Right.
once we condition these girls to
Yeah,
walk
exactly.
right and talk right, but no,
Yeah,
that's part of patriarchal system again, so
yeah,
she's
yeah,
part of it too. So
yeah, yeah.
for
Make it.
Gorman's character to see what he says, it's like, yeah, that just shows the flaw in the system, that he think what he's doing is right, but it's like,
Yeah,
no, you basically trying to hunt down this kid who could pretty much shake the foundation. You like
right.
legit want to kill this guy though, it's like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I love that.
yeah. They make it work. I thought it's a simple plot. They don't try to make it too. It's not too complex. Simple story. It feels like a typical Sherlock Holmes story, but
Yes, yes, it
yeah,
does. It does.
but
For as much as they, zeroed in on Enola and what she
yeah,
going through and what women going through, no,
right,
it still has the feel
right.
of a traditional Sherlock
Yeah,
Holmes story.
yeah, but Nancy Springer does an excellent job of building up this world and making it work in that sense. And it's simple, and it doesn't feel too ridiculous. Like it's something. But again, this is something like you could imagine a boardroom they're doing this, and they did this, like it'll be totally ridiculous. Like 10, 15 years ago, something like that, or even earlier, like 25 years ago in the mid 90s on PBS, and it'll be like
Yeah,
so
yeah,
dotish. It'll be so dotish now. But no, they make it work. I thought it was excellent. And it just, again, good charisma from Millie Bobby Brown, good chemistry she had, and yeah, for me, I had to get this. This could have easily been in theaters, by the way, easily,
thank you. Because,
easily.
well, what was it? Well, why I agree with you here is because I saw Legendary Entertainment. I'm
Mm,
like, well, this technically was could have been a Warner Brothers film, 'cause I know
right.
Warner and Legendary together. I see Netflix first, then Legendary. I'm like, yeah, this clearly was a
Yeah,
Warner Brothers film, but clearly was designed for cinema, for the big screen.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, easily, easily. So as in, but so I'll give it that kind of rating. It could have easily been in theaters, but yeah, for me as it is, I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. This will get probably like a really high movie tongue, low IMAX type rating. Um, I'll say the only issue I had was the second act dragged a little bit. Um, that was about it. I didn't have any major problems. There's a hit. I could easily see this being a franchise, and we getting all six films from each of the books. They just film all the books, do all of them. They're good. Throw Roland back in the garbage bag, and Nancy Springer put Nancy Springer on the throne, right? I thought this was really really well done. I really really didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. Yeah. So that's my
yeah.
rating. How about 8 out of 10?
Well, okay, so for me, finally, I really really dug the performances from this.
Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown shines in this, so she shines as Enola. Yeah, this is truly a star-making performance from her. This is coming from just seeing her pretty much play side characters like that last Godzilla film, and even with Stranger Things. Like,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
everybody loves Eleven, but she's not the main character of the show, right? But yeah, she shines in this too. Dialogue wise, just the chemistry that she has with pretty much everyone. Do I really dug?
Yeah.
Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes, it was kind of funny seeing him as this, but I like that he
Yeah.
plays it straight enough with.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's kind of winking at the camera, like, yeah, you know, you're seeing, you can kind of picture the Superman suit underneath this here. But
Right. Exactly.
I just having fun, right? I just having fun.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
really dug this guy who plays Mycroft Holmes. I forgot the name,
Yeah. He was good.
but
Yeah.
yeah, him just being this snobby e-hole
Yeah.
though,
Yeah.
but
And he
it
was a
works
good.
in terms of, yeah,
He was a
this
good
is kind of the
foil.
mindset of
Right.
guys back then. They're like,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to do this, blah blah blah. You
Right.
should be
Right.
in this boys' school. You're not
You
a
know,
real
you
woman.
expected,
Yeah,
you expected his monocle to fall out, right? You know, it's that
you
guy,
know,
right?
yeah,
But I was he was a great foil for both Enola and Sherlock, and I like what they did with the whole. Well, all right, you and she hands now. You know, he didn't fight down to keep her as the water or any of that bullshit because he just saw her as just a burden more than anything. He's like, all
yeah,
right, cool, you take care of her. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
right. That right. Yeah,
Also, really dug the music for this from Daniel Pemberton. I thought that he did a great
yeah,
score for this. Very light-hearted, you know, I mean, a little whimsical and stuff. But I really, really dug it. Right.
yeah.
Cinematography was superb in my opinion. But really, what
Yes.
makes the show work is the script, though.
Yeah.
Especially how deep it is without going too deep, right? Like, is that
Yeah.
some overly complex show, and you're like thinking, oh well, it's really this criticism of this. No, like it's
Right.
there in the background, but at its heart, it is this mystery film with, you know, little dashes of adventure and comedy and some light-hearted dramatic moments, right? And that's really what it is, right? So yeah, I really dug this as well. Rating wise, I'm giving this a decent to strong 4 out of 5, man. It's on Netflix right now. Please don't miss
Yeah.
it. I mean, don't let the cutesy look, well, even though it's not cutesy at all, but don't let the, oh well, it's just the female version of Sherlock Holmes
No.
thing
Yeah. No.
fool you. There's
They
a
really.
lot of
Yeah.
depth into it. And
Yeah.
what I
You
would say
really.
though,
You
last I was really surprised how intelligent it was. I mean, I know
Yes.
it's a Sherlock Holmes show. You kind of come to expect it's supposed to be really intelligent, and they come out of it like, oh, that's real
Well.
smart. We figured this out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's really like what's going on behind the scenes, and not so much the case itself. That for
Right.
me was like, yeah, this is real smart. I'm really digging this. This is some really conscientious writing here. I'm really digging this. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And the last thing, sorry to cut you there. And with you, Ricardo, they need to film all the other 5 books here.
Yeah.
Before Millie decides, you know what, this is beneath me. I need to start doing edgier shows. I want to get me a Oscar nomination. So
No.
yeah,
But I
capitalize on
wonder.
it, take advantage,
Yeah.
make these shows a reality, please.
No, I think they'll do the Harry Potter thing. Like, you know, you just grow up in front of the camera kind of thing. She is the same age as the character right now. So like
I know.
they could time that shit perfect now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, once you don't have any major, you know, issues or some outlier, you should be fine. But yeah, I really dug this. I dug this what it was. You're at a good sense that she's her own character now.
Yes,
Even though
yes, yes.
it doesn't, she don't, at no point you get the sense that she's in the shadow of Sherlock. You're not thinking
No.
about that. And I am reasonably familiar with the material of Sherlock, at least from the writing material, and even some of the stuff that the Doyle estate never released now.
Mhm.
I just thought it just did its own thing, and it really felt like its own thing. This is what you're supposed to do with side characters like this. This is exactly what you have to do. You're leveraging off of a very, very big established franchise, but you do your own thing, and you really like make it work on its own. So yeah, this is a hit. This is a hit.
Yeah,
I thought this was
this is a hit.
excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah. This is
another
excellent.
win for Netflix. Although,
Yeah.
to be honest, this clearly was meant for the big screen, and
Yeah.
yeah, I would have loved to see this on the big screen, man. But I would say
Right.
this: I would love to see more. Well, I like to see the sequels if we do get any on the big screen. Hopefully, I don't want them to be exclusive only to Netflix, but wherever it shows up, I'll be
Right.
there. I know you'll be there too, Ricardo, to see
Right.
the further adventures of Enola Holmes. So in the
Right.
meantime, the first one that exists right now, yeah, this is a high recommendation, man. Definitely give this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.